most prevalent seriously ear diseases. Uses nitrogen as fertilizer, increase susceptibility to it. So if you put a lot of nitrogen on it, it tends to increase fire blight. Here's some fire blight limbs. They're all brown looking. And everything else here is green. That's fire blight. So they're going to be cut off. We're going to have to cut this limb all the way down here off. A good limb like this is all green and supple. This fire blight here is actually just screwed up. So I'm going to have to cut this all the way off down to here. Okay, I've already cut this off. You can notice this is all dry. This saw here, blade, if you use it on another limb, what you'll end up doing is you can spread the fungus of the blight. So if you want to wash it off, some people use bleach or something, the old books. But that's a limb I grafted on years ago in the Pear Tree. There's one more limb that's got fire blight on it. Fire blight. I'm going to cut that one off. It's all dark. This is early April. So if I don't cut that out, that'll spread to some other branches. So I'm going to cut it off right there. There's another limb right there. It's bad. And this one's bad right here too. That's an open canopy. Gets the light in there, prevents fire blight. Tree was planted around 1971. The base down here is about 12 inches in diameter. What happens is the fungus in this or the blight can spread to other branches. You want to cut it out. It's called fire because it looks like it's been burned up. It's dark. It's usually fairly brittle. Like this is the end here. It looks like it's been stuck in a fire or something. Fire blight. Here's the Wise Garden Encyclopedia. This is the 1953 edition. It started in 1956. Under Pear here, talks about fire blight. Most prevalent seriously ear diseases. Uses nitrogen as fertilizer, increase susceptibility to it. So if you put a lot of nitrogen on it, it tends to increase fire blight. And then it also says pruning tools and corrosive sublimate between cuts, which means basically you're putting something on the tool to clean it between each cut. So if you cut a bunch of this junk out and then you go to other branches, you can actually spread it. Years ago we used to use Clorox on there. It says corrosive supplement between cuts. I just end up using a blade off a Sawzall a lot of times and then use it on something else that's probably not going to spread. This is an old funky book called the Wise Garden Encyclopedia. It's been out for many generations. What you do in the fire blight is you end up, I open up the center to make sure there's a bunch of light on it. It's very humid here, so the tree tends to bunch up to where you got a lot of stuff in the center. If you trim out the center, what it'll do is it tends to have, if you have a lot of light hitting the branches, you reduce the susceptibility to getting fire blight. What it'll do is the water and the birds will get on this thing and they'll poop, and then the water will drip from one branch to another, so you want to remove it right away.